One of my favorite things about Modern Warfare 3 was the ability to TAC stance your gun. And if you're on mouse and keyboard, you totally understand where I'm coming from, just because it makes it a little bit easier to aim. But in Black Ops 6, we have a pretty big problem with tactical stance. Yes, they do give you the option to run it as a laser, but that leaves us with one pretty big problem, because in MW3 you were actually able to put on multiple attachments that actually help with your tactical stance spread, but in Black Ops 6 you get what you get and you don't throw a fit. The tactical laser is the only attachment that reduces your spread, and there's nothing else you can do with it. And that leads to another problem, because on most guns the tactical spread is just big enough to where it just really isn't viable. And I get that they do it from a balancing perspective, but to have a feature in the game that just doesn't make any sense to use just kind of makes it worthless in my opinion. There are a couple random attachments that add a better version of TAC stance, something like the weighted stock for the Grekova. This actually kind of puts it into a tactical stance spread like this, and it has a very tight spread. Cool thing about the Grekova is no matter how much you jump or go into prone or do any of that kind of stuff, the spread is always at its smallest. So that allows me to like pretty freely move, and no matter what I do, jump, slide, whatever, like it's always going to be the same spread, which is pretty cool. But this thing doesn't really kill fast enough to be able to fight against other SMGs. So again, not really super viable. Pretty similar to the stock or the Grekova, we actually see the return of the crossbar from MW3 that you can put on your LMGs. These kind of run into the same issue where these things just don't kill fast enough to really be viable. But it is pretty cool to have just an alternate option. Previously, one of my favorite weapons to run TAC stance on was the Compact 92. This thing absolutely fries up close but had a lot of recoil, so it just made sense to try and TAC stance it. But again, the spread just didn't really make a lot of sense, and it was just kind of quirky more than anything. But recently in this last Christmas event, they added something new called the 3-round burst mod, which is, again, for the Compact 92. I was just kind of messing around with it and shooting it around a little bit, and it just kind of felt awkward to aim, and I was like, well, what if I tried it in tactical stance? So that's exactly what we did. Ooh, that guy right in front of me here. Okay, well. Sounds like he might be on my level, yeah. Oh, okay, there we go. And this might be the best tactical stance build in the game. As you can see, it's got a really tight spread, and no matter what, no matter how much I fire the gun, the spread always stays really, really tight just because it is a burst.